long-term travel, being able to travel to so many more new destinations, being able to meet more amazing people from all different backgrounds and different cultures, and having more time for these enriching experiences. Now that's the good things, but what about the downsides? In this video, we're going to talk about 3 of those downsides and provide workarounds to help you with your future trips. Without further ado, let's get into it. What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to another video. If you're new and just joining, what's happening? My name is Benjamin Harding. I put videos and all my personal experiences. These are generally in travel, self-development, and health and fitness. So if that's your kind of vibe, consider hitting that subscribe button. Just want to say a massive, huge thank you once again to all the new subs to the channel. I see you, thank you, and I'm so looking forward to bringing more videos to this channel to help you on your journey. Let's get stuck into it. So long-term travel can provide so many enriching experiences. You're traveling the globe, you're going to a new continent, you're meeting people of all different walks of life. But are there any downsides? Quite recently, I took a trip back to the UK. I've been overseas here in Australia for 2 and a bit years, and when I got back here to Oz, I realised that I was experiencing 3 of those downsides. Here's a couple examples. First one is going to be seeing 2 years worth of age on your brother's face. For example, leaving when he was 18 years old and coming back to when he's 20 years old. That's going from like a teenager to a young adult, to a young man, and seeing that indifference is a bit of an impact to have in terms of visually and like emotionally and looking at it, you know. Another one, for example, leaving the UK and your old brother and his partner getting married and then going back and seeing them have a baby boy and meeting him for the first time. And being away for this long, you do tend to miss a lot because the distance from here, from UK to Oz is quite far. I've missed funerals, I've missed birthdays, I've missed other celebrations, other mates' weddings, and I truly wish I could commit and go to all of them. But for lifestyle and for the distance and for the prices and for living here long term, it's hard. Like, you can't commit to everything. That's why I had to be specific with, like, if I do make the journey, I've got to try and bunch it all together. Which leads me on to the workarounds. And here's a simple workaround for this one. It's that don't leave it too long to see your family. Like I'm gonna definitely take my own advice on this one, because I said it to them before I left. I was like, I'm not gonna leave it 2 years again. At least I'm gonna come back once a year to catch up, to see you guys, to learn about everything that's happened and to cherish those moments again. Okay, so moving on to the second one, and I've definitely felt this quite a lot. It is the longer the distance from your home, the harder it is. So for example, my home is in Oxfordshire in the UK. Here in Perth, that is, in terms of distance, we're 8 hours ahead of the UK. Australia, for a flight, is normally 17 hours if you're going direct. If you're doing layovers, it's going to be 21, 22, 23, 24, depending on the amount of that duration of the layover and flight times as well. Also, the cost of flights. When I went for mine, I booked mine way in advance so I could get a bit of a cheaper deal. The return trip that I booked, I remember it was $1,300 to there and then $1,100 back to here. So overall, 2.4, 2.5, give or take. If you're booking them in different times, they can be a lot more than that. If you choose different dates, etc. as well. Not just that, but considering the delays, considering flight cancellations, also like the duration, jet lag, and all these things involved. This is why that when I went back home, I can't just go back for like a week. You know, it would take me a time to adjust to living life over there and stuff. So because I picked 5 weeks, it allowed me for the first week to be like settling in, well, first 2 or 3 days to be settling in. And then on the other end of coming back, on that last week, 3 days to get ready to come back here, and then not starting work straight away and have the first week off when I got back here to Australia. But also taking into consideration the time that it takes to see your loved ones, to plan those events, to get around and see everyone, depending on how big your family is. Obviously, you do have like FaceTime and Zoom calls, but I'm not gonna lie, there's so much difference between seeing your mum on a FaceTime call and actually being in person and hugging her and just literally like seeing her and all of your family again. You know, I miss that. I miss that whilst being here. And yeah, this is why it's more important for me to get the lifestyle sorted here and get back there like at least once a year. And so here's some life examples. Not being able to hug your mum for 2 years, not being able to see your baby nephew for the first time, not being able to catch up with all of your brothers, talk about life, talk about all of your experiences and laugh together. Also, not being able to see your best mate of like 17, 18 years catching up with each other and just laughing so much that literally your eyes water. Miss you, Josh. But after experiencing that, there's definitely a pro and a con to this. Pro, I definitely cherish that time way more than I did back in my 20s. Con, I wish I had more of that time and more of those opportunities to have those experiences. Wins pretty fast. Well, and so here's some workarounds for number 2. It's make time to catch up and do FaceTime or video calls. Also, you can create WhatsApp groups. I have 2 WhatsApp groups, one with my 2 best mates in it, and also a family WhatsApp group. So it's a good way to keep in touch, keep part of the conversation, even when you are literally like 17, 18-hour flight away from them. And last workaround on that, which is an important one as well, it's putting the effort to keep that connection going. Like, it doesn't have to be daily, it doesn't have to be weekly. I actually message like my best mates like every month, like once a month, just to check in, just to see how you're going, see how they're going. I do that with my brothers a lot as well. If I feel that it's been a while since I spoke to him, I just send him a message. Let's jump on a video call, bro. I want to know how you're going back in the UK. Stuff like that sort of thing. Okay, downside number 3, which is trying to align all of your travel plans with everyone else's of your families and for it to not go to plan. Okay, so for example, taking 5 weeks off to go back to the UK, had to make sure that my job here was okay with that. Had to make sure that college was also okay with that. I missed a little bit. It's all sorted now, no worries. And then also to arrange it around the parents that were getting married, to be able to see the nephew, to be able to see the brothers, to be able to see all of the close family, and also to be able to see my best mates, because if I don't see him, I potentially won't see him for another year or 2. So yeah, it was quite difficult. At one point, the flight from Qantas did get delayed, but they managed to put me on a new one, which was sweet. So that was okay. We had a backup contingency plan. And then flying back here was no problem at all. We did get shifted around different airports, but we made it and it was okay. And so when these mistakes happen, for example, flights getting delayed, you getting bigger layovers because the flight's been cancelled, you being redirected to somewhere new, this all pushes your travel plans back. And so I was worried that when I did go back to the UK, because I had so many things penciled into the diary, if it did cancel, then there would be more problems. And so the workaround with this is pretty simple. It's try to plan way in advance. My flights that I booked, etc., I booked them months in advance, just because not only were they cheaper, but also it allowed me to forecast the future of ticking everything off and putting them all into like a row of events. Also, the earlier that you do book the flights, the more flexible you can be with choosing dates. And as well, the more flexible you can be with giving leave to your workplace, giving them enough notice to plan accordingly with rostering and putting people on those shifts that are going to keep their business going and working effectively. And then also it's letting all the other people here know in advance as well. So like your housemates who you live with or your friends, etc. Letting them know, okay, I'm going to be away for this amount of time, but I will be back. And it just keeps everyone in the know and communicated very well. Another great workaround with this is to plan a travel schedule. So for example, I'm going to be flying from Perth to London on the 26th of July, and I'll be flying back from London to Perth on the 2nd of September. In between those dates, we can plan accordingly with getting everything ticked off. Certain events that you want to specifically like tailor more focus on, but then leave X amount of time, probably about a week or so, to get packed up, to get to book into the flights, to pack your bags, all that sort of thing. When I did, just a few tips for this, when I did book my flights, I did have a look on Skyscanner just to see the most updated prices and dates of what the flights were saying. I was really keen to see what a direct flight would be like because I've never done one before. So I checked to see if there was any of those. I have such a tendency to go direct with suppliers just because from working with a lot of suppliers through my 20s, with events and stuff, I just find that if any problems do arise, it's a lot easier to go direct to supplier than to go through a third-party company. And so with going direct with Qantas for these flight options, that's why it was a lot easier to reschedule the flight when it did get cancelled and to get a new one booked in its place at no extra charge. This is not to say though, don't go ahead and check their competitors. I had to look at Qantas, I had to look at Emirates, I had to look at Etihad, I've flown with those ones before. And I also had to look at, what was the last one? Qatar. And I have flown with them as well, but I wanted to switch it up. Also, if you wanted to grab our cheat sheet on how I go about searching for these flights, we literally host this document in our community. I'll drop a link in the description box below if you want to go and check that out and download it to use for the future. Also, for contrast on this, I looked at the flight dates for booking them in advance and for booking them 1 week before I was going to fly back, and there was $1,000 difference. $1,000. Wow. Also, we're picking dates. Choose the ones that suit you the most, but also give you the ability to be able to commit to seeing the family and getting those amazing experiences done and enjoy them without feeling rushed. And then in terms of picking the dates, I'd choose the dates that suit you and your travel plans the most, but also cater towards the family commitments, friends commitments, and all the things that you cherish that you want to be able to see when you go back home. But then also take into consideration if you are flying from here, Australia, to the UK, the distance is at least 17, 18 hours. And obviously, if you're going to be doing that, when I've picked my flights, I choose to fly in the night so I could sleep on the plane for the majority of the time, wake up, have the food for breakfast, and so it not affect my circadian rhythm and my routine as such. You know, I was able to watch movies, I was able to sleep for a bit, I was able to rest, and then waking up to the sunshine arriving in France and in London. And you know, reflecting on these good relationships with my family and my friends, I've certainly seen all of the enriching benefits. It can help our mental health. It can create support for both sides, both them and for you. It can be a place for openness and vulnerability at certain stages when you become to trust one another and connect with one another on a deeper level. And having that security and that safe space, it takes time. It takes time to work on those relationships and to see them build, to see them thrive and to see them flourish. And you know, this is another reason to why I built BHX and Friends. It was to be a place where we could catch up with like-minded people that share the same interests of this channel, of travel, self-development and health and fitness, but be a place where the focus is on growth and on social connection. so you can like build your social connections with people from all over the world. And that's what this group helps the members to do, which I've seen it grow over the last few months, and we've managed to get to like over 100 members now, which is unbelievable. It's amazing. We've got members in there from over 20 plus different countries, like UK, Australia, Wales, Ireland, Scotland, Spain, Argentina, Brazil. So if you are keen and fancy it, then check the link in the description box below. Massive thank you for stopping by, and we'll see you all back in the next episode. Take care, guys. We'll see you later.